Well, I was just thinking it's a good thing that I cleaned off the island behind us there, because you can really see that there's no crumbs on it.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hello.
To the Zilinski life.
Yeah.
Before we do the video, I just wanted to say how much we have appreciated all of the encouragement and positive well wishes, and just like made me a little emotional.
Yeah,
reading them all.
It was really nice, you guys. Thank you so much.
It means a lot.
We're really lucky to be part of a great community on YouTube, which is weird to say because like we don't really interact with each other. Like, you guys do your videos, we do our videos, and like we watch each other's videos and stuff, but like we don't interact. But I still feel like we have such great friends on here. So on that note, like sand through the hourglass, so leaves the money from our bank account.
So we're doing our November financial recap. So the first thing we're going to do is go through.
So you're going to notice that there's almost $16 in the red there. And what that is our bank finally taking bank freeze because we broke again.
Yeah, so with our bank, if we maintain a daily balance of $4,000 or more, they don't charge us that bank fee. So we haven't had to pay it in a while.
Guys, that 2 on the other side of that comma there used to be like a 9.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're thinking we might switch back to Tangerine.
They finally have Visa debit, which is the only reason we had to switch away from them, because we don't have a credit card, and you need a Visa something if you want to live in the world these days.
Yes, so if you live in Canada and you want a online-only free banking account, we do highly recommend Tangerine. We have loved Tangerine. We left to go with Scotiabank because they are...
Of the Visa debit.
They are technically owned by Scotiabank. It's like
I don't know if it's like an ownership thing. There's some kind of partnership there. So if you need to deal with like deposit cash into your Tangerine account, you go to a Scotiabank. Yeah. To do that. But
we did leave because when we paid off our credit card, we finally just canceled it, and we will do a separate video on why we decided to cancel our credit card and just our whole debt story in general. But when we canceled it, we then would have no way to pay for any of our subscription services or make purchases online.
Apple Music, the YouTube without ads, because my God, YouTube loves ads.
Yeah, so we decided to go with a bank that offered Visa debit. There of course is a workaround for that. We could have just transferred funds onto a prepaid Visa card or something, but it's just easier for us to track it all out of one account.
Yeah, it's nice to have it all consolidated.
So anyways, long story short, we think we might go back to Tangerine now that they have Visa debit, because I hate paying bank fees. I hate it.
And Tangerine is one of the best the best bank we've ever dealt with in terms of customer service.
And they're so easy so easy.
They're not sponsors of this video. We're not at that point yet, but we love them.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to November here, and we're just gonna go through and take out some odd dollar amounts. So can I take out like the 80 cents here?
Sure.
$1.39. We're starting to think that maybe we're not gonna need this money for Christmas anymore.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a government mandate for the next 3 weeks that we are not allowed to have any social indoor gatherings of any kind.
Unless you're at like a mall or a casino or something.
Yeah, casinos and malls and shopping centers and stuff are still open, but...
Drive-in churches, though, that's where the Rona's going to get you. You stay away from there.
Yeah. So yeah, we're not allowed to go see our friends, and that might extend into Christmas as well. So we're starting to think maybe we don't need that much money for travel and food, because we might just be feeding ourselves.
Which, don't get me wrong, I can pack it away, but I'm pretty good at cooking for cheap for me. Well, she's doing this. The other thing that's been really depressing about the whole pandemic, quarantine, don't go anywhere, don't see your friends thing, is how little it's really impacted my life. Because apparently I don't do things. I don't have friends. They told me not to. Literally the only change to my life is that now I shop online more. Well, she shops online more instead of going places and just browsing the stores. Because like, that's what I used to do for fun, is just go wander around Walmart and look at shit.
Okay, so we're done this. We have $9.90 left over.
Ooh.
Scooting over the other way, that all gets put into the to be budgeted because we owed money for a bank fee, so we have $6.05 that we still have to cover. You want to take it out of there?
Knock it down to 50.
So that $1.95, where do you want to move that to? Or do you just want to leave it in there?
Yeah, whatever, just leave it there.
Okay, so that's it for that. Now we can go into our reports. And this is how we did. So we got a total income of $4,400, which is not a lot.
Not enough.
Not for us anyways. It's not.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing. Like, it's a lot of money, but our burn rate is so high that it don't help.
Yeah. So we saved $378. So as you can probably tell, that's not 10%.
Nope.
But we sold the bed.
We sold a couple of things.
And then we also cashed out our trade account with Wealthsimple because we needed a little extra money. We will not touch our investing account, but we would touch our Wealthsimple trade account. So
we basically treated the trade account as like
a
gambling money, rainy day fund. If there's money there when we need it, great. If not, and we don't need it and it's there, hopefully it grows. But that was money that when we put it in there, we essentially in our minds just it no longer existed.
Yeah.
And then we needed it and it existed again. So
yeah, so that's why these numbers don't match, is because we had about like $600 or $700 from stuff that was sold and cashing in our trade account that we didn't save money out of. So going down here, Christmas, we spent $568. So we did our decorations, we got all of Freya's Christmas shopping done. Cody and I are almost done shopping for each other. We bought for all of our friends.
And we really hummed and hawed on this. I was badgering Valerie for a long time to like return my stuff, take the money back. Like we can use the money elsewhere. We had considered not doing any gifts at all. But if ever there was a year that was shitty for everyone, that it would just be nice to do something nice for someone, it was this year. So we decided to stick to our original budget and get a little something nice for each other, do a little something for our friends and a couple of relatives and stuff. Nothing big, certainly nothing that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But
it's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts. It's every little bit helps, right?
Yeah. And then our debt payments. So we did make our minimum debt payments for November. We did not make our debt snowball, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we met our minimum obligations for this month.
Yeah, for this month, you can tell based on the numbers in the past, it was basically save our 10% or do our debt snowball. And like we discussed in the past, saving the money made more sense than giving it away, even though it would benefit us down the road to give it away.
Yeah.
It made more sense to hang on to that.
Yeah, and unfortunately for next month, for December, we probably won't even be making our minimum debt payments. We're probably going to have to just defer those or get an extension on them. Bill payments, again, pretty standard. Our phones were a lot because this was the remaining balance that we paid out for the old phones, which really, I kick myself in the butt for this because if you've been watching our last few videos, we had the money saved for this. We would not have wound up going over budget for it. With the trade in our phones and the money that we had saved up, we have more than enough money. But I stupidly and greedily thought to myself, oh, well, it would be nice to have, a new case for the new phones and some new MagSafe chargers for the new phones. And at that time, Cody was still working. So we were like, oh, he's got more work coming, so we'll be fine. Like stealing from your future self, which you should never do.
Yeah, stealing from your future self is always a bad idea.
I've learned this lesson time and time again, and
Obviously
I just keep doing it.
Obviously not, because we keep doing it.
So anyways, long story short, we spent all of that money except for, I think, like $500 or something we had left over. So we had to then scramble to come up with the rest of the money.
Which is why we ended up having to drain our trade account and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In part.
Everything still got paid. But yeah, that's what happened there. Our subscriptions were a little bit higher because I had an annual bill come in for an app that I use that I totally forgot about. So I've added that into our budget so that I don't forget. That's one thing I do love about YNAB, is that as these annual things come up that I realize I've forgotten about, I can add it in here so that I don't forget it for next year.
It's very nice that YNAB doesn't do a thing, because I used a couple of budgeting apps way back in the day before I got with Valerie, because I was trying to be good with my money. And I used a couple apps where it was like, oh, you want to add a new category? Cool, we're just going to wipe this whole budget clean and you can start from scratch. So it's nice that YNAB just says, yeah, throw something else in there. People forget things. You're only human.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same here. We're looking at maybe cutting down more of our subscriptions.
Yeah, we've been humming and hawing on our subscriptions because, it's one of the variable things that we could save money on and streamline a little bit. But pretty much everything we're subscribed to is stuff that our life is built around. As sad as it sounds, I don't know that we could get by without Netflix and the YouTube subscription and Apple Music.
We also don't have cable, though.
Yeah,
we've not had cable in years. YouTube and Netflix is our only form of entertainment. Okay, so groceries we spent $500 on. Gas was $176. We actually did really good on gas this month because we made 2 trips up to Boyle before they put in the mandate that we can't go see people anymore.
And that's like a whole saga. My mom's dealing with some things right now, and it really sucks that we can't go help her. But also, it's good for her to have to go through some of the struggle on her own, I guess, as frustrating as it is all around. But
I'm glad we were able to go help when we did.
I'm glad we were able to help as much as we did, but it's frustrating that we can't help more.
Yeah. Freya things, we just needed some more baby lotion for her. Dining out, we did a lot of emotional eating this month.
Yeah.
We are very aware right now that our dining out problem is mostly... Some of it is just that we don't like to sacrifice that part of our lifestyle. It is something that we really enjoy. We enjoy being social together. We enjoy being social with friends. It really sucks that we haven't been able to go out and see our friends.
Since the pandemic started, one of the ways that we've entertained ourselves to like stay sane, get out of the house, is to go for a drive.
And eat takeout. Yeah,
and usually that's at some point in there, we're like hungry, so we get a little snack, and we both like coffee, so we grab a coffee, and next thing you know, you're like $20 down.
Yeah. So we have noticed specifically in this month that we are really bad for emotional eating. It's been a really difficult month for Cody and I emotionally with everything going on. I'm not afraid to share that with you guys. I think mental health is not talked about enough. Not everything is rainbow and sunshine for everybody all the time.
Pausing the budgeting things. So depression presents differently in men and women. For men, it's typically either straight up apathy. I'm going to sit on the couch and play video games and eat chips and leave me the hell alone. Or I typically cope with my depression by doing productive things. So, being useful, being helpful. I putter around the house as much as I can and do stuff and try to stay active. But typically my go-to for that was to work and provide. And that is not an option anymore for various reasons. Mainly there's just not a lot of work right now. And also everything we're hearing in the media basically says that the government is attempting to straight up murder my industry. So, yeah, I don't know what to do. I've reached out to like a few government agencies to be like, hey, I need retraining to stay relevant and stuff. And they've said, hey, Nate has programs. And I'm like, cool, but how am I going to pay my bills while I do that?
Yeah, we're definitely...
And of course the response is crickets.
We're definitely in a predicament, and maybe at some point we'll do a video covering like why we haven't made changes occupationally yet, and kind of what the hang-ups are. But yeah, so getting back to the point here is that we have had a lot of days
back to budgeting
where we have struggled, and rather than being productive, we've just been doing the bare minimum and then ordering takeout because we can't be bothered to cook, which is not healthy, not physically or mentally.
And part of that, it's not necessarily being bothered to cook, but like sometimes you just want something different than what's on hand,
That too.
And
we've been eating a lot of rice and frozen vegetables.
Lots of rice and frozen vegetables. But also like fast food is engineered to like light up the pleasure centers of your brain and be roughly as addictive as like nicotine or heroin or something like that. I've heard. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard. I'm tempted to believe it. So when you're down and out and you want to change and you're miserable, well, hey, let's do some crack in the form of McDonald's.
Household, I can't remember what we spent for household. Oh yeah, the blackout windows for Freya. We had to black out windows in Freya's room again. Toiletries, that's pretty standard. Personal care, those were some loofahs. And stuff I forgot to budget.
I needed a shower scrubby because my old one just went poof.
And then our stuff we forgot to budget for was a invoice that I got from eBay from when we sold CODY'S phone. I always forget that eBay takes 10% of the sale, and so I got hit with that bill.
But like they don't do it off the top, so it's not like they give you a sum of money and then it's like handled. You get the sum of money, you spend the sum of money, and then they're like, hey, you owe us $70, and we're like,
I wish they would just withhold that amount immediately, just like PayPal does. But anyways, that's my fault. Spending money for Cody and I. We haven't really been giving each other spending money unless it was really necessary. Medical, dental, night guard, natural cycles. Not a lot going on in here. We did buy some more clothing. Cody needed some new pants.
Yeah, my old pants exploded on me.
And then Goodwill, we bought Freya some more clothes. Random acts of kindness. Oh, I think that was the donation to Stollery Children's Hospital. And then I had a friend's birthday this month. Wow, we had a lot of... Okay, TubeBuddy. Oh yeah, WordPress. We renewed like our annual thing with them, and then a monthly subscription.
Because we have a website. Do we do anything with our website?
Not really. We'd like to get better at it, but it doesn't see a lot of traffic, so we don't put a lot of time into it right now.
And I know that seems kind of backwards. I mean, you're not going to start living somewhere before you build the house. You're going to build the house before you live there. But also, we're not 100% sure what we want to do with it. There's a lot of stuff up in the air. We don't really know what we're doing. But
Yeah.
if you're interested to see what it is so far, we have a website that I'm sure
It's linked down below.
it's linked down below.
All right, so we went backwards by almost $1,900 this month,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Yay.
The bulk of our stuff went to bill payments. That was almost 40% of our total income, and then living expenses and debt payments. So like a good chunk of our money was
Just
just
last
like
month?
just for this month. So no.
No, that's got to be different because
Yeah.
that's 14, almost 15 grand.
Yeah. I wish. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
nice? There we go. So
Do you know how much easier my budget would be to figure out if I was making 15 grand a month?
So 40% went to bills, 20% to debt payments, and 18% to living expenses. So that's,
So all the same numbers, the graph looks the same, it's just the numbers are different.
yeah. And then what else did I want to touch on? Our tracking. So we did put in, so we had $143 in market gains this month in our investment account. Our OPD,
Baby, at this rate, we're going to be able to retire about 10 years after we die.
our OPD went down by $559, and our car loan went down by $178.34. So we should actually do our debt update. So our total progress, we're at 48% paid off for everything.
We're almost halfway there, guys.
10 to 68 and 3. Okay, so these numbers are slightly off. 24,404. That one's on. I think the OPD is off because it's calculating the interest a little differently, but it doesn't make a huge difference. So we're still on track to be debt free by July of 2022, despite not making that extra debt snowball payment this month. This date's likely going to change though by the end of the year because we're not making any debt payments next month.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm hoping it's not going to make a huge difference because we do plan to continue to make the debt snowball payments on top of our minimum payments. Plus, we generally get a pretty sizable tax return that always goes onto debt as well.
That's one of the nice things about my industry is because when I do work, I make so much money, and the government is greedy as all hell, so they take a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And then I don't work for several months, and they're like, "Oh, we got to give a bunch of this back."
Yeah. Cody typically pays about 40% in taxes.
It'd be really nice if it was. I don't quite understand how the difference is between the States and Canada, but my understanding is that in the States, if you get sizable tax returns, you can go into like your company's tax paperwork and stuff like that and adjust how much they take from you so that you have more throughout the year. We don't do that. I don't think that's like a possibility in Canada.
I don't know. They make you fill out tax forms when you start. If you want to have extra taken off, you can.
Yeah, if you want to have extra taken off, you can.
I don't know how you would do less, though.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe in where extra taken off, put a negative number instead. But
I think it works like that.
I don't really know how that works. So anyway, we're expecting a sizable tax return. We're honestly kind of counting on it.
Hopefully.
Things are going to look a lot different in March, April. If
They
we
usually
don't get a sizable tax return, but we typically do get a sizable tax return. So we're hoping to cover a lot of our savings and stuff like that from
that's
there.
typically when work picks up for you again as well.
Yeah, and that's also when work picks back up. That's when shutdown season starts. So
Yeah.
sometime towards the first third of next year, expect me to be gone for 2 months and hating life, but at least we'll have money.
And then finally, our net worth for the last month here went down $5,000.
Yeah, we're worth 70.7% less than we were before.
And a big chunk of that is due to just us blowing through all of our cash reserves that we did have.
Yeah, which I mean is super depressing on the one hand because that cushion is no longer there, but at the same time,
At least we're not going
it did what it was supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that is it for our November
That's it for the recap.
financial
Yeah, talk
review.
about like sand through the hourglass. 70% of the sand is gone, guys.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. So if you like it, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it twice. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for coming along. And is it payday yet? Bye.